Okay, here is the video lecture, Lifespan Development. And guys, I know we missed a couple classes this week, so what I'm sending you here on these video lectures will make up for those days that we missed this week. This is stuff I was going to do in class anyway, so and this will just kind of make it easier for you guys because you can kind of look at this on your own. This is stuff that you're not going to find in your book, but it's very important stuff that ties in with memory. We started talking about memory a little bit on Wednesday in class, and I want to build on that in my own little way here. I will send you this PowerPoint shell that you're seeing right here. It won't have the notes on it. You're going to have to take notes on these videos as we go through each of the key terms. And I'll kind of prompt you as well on what to write down. But you want to treat these videos just like a classroom setting. Take good notes. You can stop and start this. You can watch it at your leisure. I would have notes on this video within the next 4 or 5 days. That way you can kind of stay on top of things. So here we go. So some more stuff on memory. I know we all have issues with memory. Some things we can remember pretty well, other things not so much. And again, we're talking about a time of development during young childhood or middle childhood. So I would start by asking the question, what are some things that can enhance or improve your memory? And I think we might have even talked about this a little bit in class, maybe not. But there are some tricks, there are some things that you can do to improve your memory. You can get some rest. You eat well. Proper diet has been known to enhance memory. There are also some memory tricks. If you can associate things with other ideas or things, then you can remember. If you've ever taken a test or an exam and you had a lot of information to remember, you can use mnemonics. You can take the first letters of each word in a group and create like a rhyme or a poem or a song. So that's a mnemonic. That's a trick that can work as well. A repetition, just repeating stuff. Memorization. Repeating things can also enhance memory as well. It's probably easier to think of things that can diminish or get in the way of memory. If you have an argument with a friend or a significant other or with a parent, the stress that comes with that argument can get in the way of memory. You can probably think of a time where you had an exam and you got into an argument with a friend or a loved one right before your test. Probably had some impact on how well you could remember information for your exam right after that. Again, lack of sleep, poor diet can diminish memory. Any kind of stress, head injuries, for example, can also diminish memory. So there are a lot of things that can kind of get in the way of memory as well, at any age, not just childhood, but for all of us. Now, I'm going to adjust my camera here just a little bit. There we go. The first theory of memory that I want to talk about is called information processing theory of memory. You'll want to write these down. This is comparing memory sort of to a computer, or maybe even like a cell phone. That's something that we can all relate to. Phones and computers are things we can all kind of relate to because we use them every day. Encoding is the process where we take information in and we change the form of it. So, for example, if you're entering information into your phone, because we all have cell phones, you're taking information that you hear, that's auditory information, and you're entering it into your phone. So you're turning it into text. So you're taking the information in and you're changing the form of it. Same thing right now as you're writing down this definition of encoding. You're taking information in, the auditory information that you're hearing, and you're writing it down. You're changing the form of that to written expression. Then you have the storage component, which is right here. Now, storage is just what it sounds like. It's just filing information away. On your computers, your laptops, or your cell phones, you store information. How many contacts do you have stored in your phone? Probably a bunch if you're like me. Or how many Facebook contacts do you have? Or Twitter, people on Twitter. Any kind of social media account or anything like that that you have. You have a lot of information probably stored away on your phones. Same thing with your notes that you're taking here. You're writing it down and you're also storing it on that piece of paper. Or in your minds right now, you're remembering what I'm saying, hopefully, and you're storing it to some extent in your short-term memory. And then we have the retrieval process. Retrieval is simply recalling information or pulling it up. If we want to stick with the cell phone example, if you put information into your phone, you may not remember off the top of your head, but you could go right to your phone and pull that contact up or pull that information out, and it's there. It's saved on your phone. Same with a flash drive. You put homework assignment on your flash drive, it's saved. That's the storage part. You store it on your flash drive, and then when you want to retrieve it, you put the flash drive in the computer, it pulls it up. Same thing with information. A lot of us have trouble, whether we're talking about young child, middle childhood, even before that, or even teenagers, even those of us who are a little bit older. A lot of times the breakdown with remembering happens at the retrieval stage. How many of you have encoded the information properly? You've taken notes, you've got it in your papers or on your phones, in your laptops. You've stored it. You can look at your notes, you can look at your phone, your laptops. It's there. You even put it in your minds, in your short-term memory. It's there, sort of. But then when you go to take the test, retrieval, you have a hard time recalling that information. Test anxiety, maybe, could explain some of that, or whatever. But sometimes we have problems and breakdown with retrieving that. Or if you've ever put information on your flash drive and you go to pull it out later, somehow that information is not on your flash drive anymore. Right? So you have a problem with retrieval of that information. So these are the three basic steps in the information processing theory of memory that you're going to want to know and have this handy, especially for your next test. It's not in your book, so you want to have that. Now, we talked about working memory a little bit in class on Wednesday. Working memory and short-term memory are essentially the same things. We're talking about short-term memory being active, conscious knowledge. Okay, it's what you are thinking about and processing right now as we sit here, as you take these notes. Probably you're thinking about more than one thing at the same time, like we talked about in class. There's a magic number for short-term memory. It's 7, plus or minus 3, so you'll want to jot that down. Most of us with normal memory capacity can hold approximately 7 things in our short-term memories at the same time. Same with young children. Now, the younger you are, the less information you're able to hold in your short-term memories. That's where the plus or minus 3 comes in. For those of us who have not quite developed as much, it might be the minus 3. There might be 4 or 5 things that we can hold in our short-term memories. Or if you're really, really good and you can remember a lot of things at once, you might be able to hold closer to 10 things in your short-term memory. So that's the 7 plus or minus 3. That's the magic number for short-term memory. Rehearsal is another aspect of short-term memory that I want to talk to you about. Rehearsal is just what it sounds like. It's rehearsing, it's saying out loud or repeating information to keep it fresh in your short-term memory. If you've ever been out somewhere and someone throws you a number or a PIN number, a cell phone number, an ID, something that you have to remember, and maybe you don't have your phone in your hand or anything to write it down, you have to keep it fresh until you can get somewhere to write it down or put it in your phone. So what do? Well, you rehearse it probably. You say it over and over to yourself. If somebody gives you a phone number, you might repeat it, 415-9876, 415-9876. You say it over and over and over again until you can get somewhere to put it in a phone or to write it down. Now we're going to skip the idea of chunking, that word at the bottom of that slide. We're not going to worry about that at this point, so going to move on. And actually, I believe we're going to call this the end of the first part of this video section. Thanks.